Welcome to Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. I'm Rob Wilson.
And I am Tony the Quano.
So, Tony, last time we did Superman. Now we're doing the 89 Batman. Tim Burton, Michael Keaton, Kim Basinger, Jack Nicholson.
Jack Palance.
Jack Palance is in it too. Yes, there's two Jacks in it. And we can't forget Billy D. Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent. I don't know why we didn't get more than just this movie with Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent.
Yeah, the last decade or so, I'm watching it. Like, I wanted a Billy D as Two-Face also.
Yes. Now, every once in a while, I'll go to a Comic-Con, and there will be an artist there that will have a drawing of Billy D as Two-Face. Looks really cool.
Okay.
If they had it just, that artist shows up to the Kansas City one fairly often, actually. But if he actually had it with just Billy D as Two-Face, then I would have bought a print of it a long time ago. But it's always just as sort of a collage of different characters.
Okay.
Yeah, sort of just like a patchwork of different little portraits.
We forgot. It also has William Hootkins.
Yes, it does have William Hootkins.
Discussed before.
It does have William Hootkins. Yes, William Hootkins is Eckhart, who I have some things to say about Eckhart when we get to that part.
I can't wait. He shows up early in the movie, so
yes, he does.
I don't have to wait that long.
Yeah, he's only in early in the movie. Speaking of, spoiler alert, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. We are going to be talking about this entire movie, beginning, middle, and end. So if you don't want to be spoiled, if you haven't seen the movie, don't want to be spoiled, then pause the podcast, go watch the movie, come back and listen. If you don't mind spoilers, keep on listening. Hopefully we can give you a fun conversation.
It's only been out for 35 years.
Yeah.
So you probably know most of it.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and start out with, when did you first see it?
When I first saw it, that's a good question. So I want to say I actually probably saw it when it was originally out in theaters. So when I was probably about 5, because I remember I had a pair of Batman high top sneakers that I wore in kindergarten.
Awesome.
And we had Batman, the video game, on NES. And I remember even going over to houses and people, different kids older than I was, talking about Batman. But I don't have much of a memory of watching it at that age. I remember going to see Batman Returns, Father's Day, and I don't think I really watched it much after that because we didn't own it on any media. So probably not until college. And I watched it again in terms of like an actual first memory. Well, I should amend that actually. So I remember being at a house and watching it on VHS.
Okay.
The scene at the end, and then the bell tower, and I remember Joker dropping off, calling it his death, and then
Mm-hmm.
So that's really my first memory of watching it.
Okay.
Was seeing the end of it.
Okay.
So maybe that was actually my first time watching it. It was actually at someone's house on a VHS. I saw the end of it, and that stuck out to me. And, at that age, I couldn't really tell you who Jack Nicholson was.
Okay. Yeah, my first time seeing it, my first time seeing part of it, because when I was a kid, I saw bits and pieces of it at different times throughout my childhood.
Right.
But the first time that I remember really seeing part of it was my brother was watching it, and I came into the room, and it was the part where Jack Napier becomes the Joker. Where he's going through Axis Chemicals.
I do remember that scene as a kid as well.
Yeah, so that's my first memory of the movie is him up running around the chemical plant and falling into the vat of chemicals.
There's another scene. We'll get to that also.
But that's really the only scene that I saw that time.
Okay.
And then a few years later, I saw, just bits and pieces of it. And then when I was in 4th grade, I was over at my friend's house, and his dad and his brother were watching Batman Returns. So I saw part of that one, but still hadn't seen it all the way through. But yeah, so I didn't actually see Batman all the way through until not long before you and I watched it together for the first time.
Right, which I want to get to in a second.
It was probably 03-ish, 02, 03 that I first saw it all the way through, maybe 04.
Yeah, that's about the timeline for me. And I'd even seen Batman Forever before I really remember watching.
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
I watched all the way through.
I watched Batman Forever and Batman and Robin in the theater.
I never saw
I
Batman.
loved
until
Batman Forever
much
when it
later.
came out. I mean, I was also like in fourth grade when it came out, but when Batman Forever came
What's
out.
strange about the first Batman is like, Batman Returns in a lot of ways, like Temple of Doom would get a lot of flack for being really dark and not really being kid oriented, right?
Yep.
But then when you watch '89 Batman,
Yeah,
it's also pretty dark.
it's pretty dark.
I get you don't quite have like the Penguin character is even darker than I guess Joker,
Yeah.
but there's still a lot of scenes in there that if you're 6, 7, 8 years old, you're like, okay, yeah. But then it was really, like I said, it was probably once in college, and then when we started watching it together with the Twisted Crust Pizza.
Yes, with the Twisted Crust
or Pizza Hut. And I am so
Or Wednesday
disappointed
night
that I
movie
don't
nights.
have a slice of that right now
I
because
know.
it feels like we should have a slice of
I
it.
know, but they haven't made Twisted Crust Pizza in decades now.
So what are you gonna do?
Yeah. I mean, they've done Cheesy Bites pizza a few times since then, but it was never as good as those days.
Yeah.
Because when they stopped doing Twisted Crust, when we started getting the Cheesy Bites, because that's all that they had for their specialty stuff like that, and it was good, but it wasn't Twisted Crust.
And we watched Batman Returns with it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that was the tradition. Batman and Pizza Hut.
Well, not just Batman, like a movie in Pizza Hut. But a movie in Twisted Crust Pizza on Wednesday nights after I got done with the training sessions for the Fairfax County Fire Department application process.
Yeah, those are good times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
It was. It was crazy. A long time ago.
Yeah. This is actually what our second Batman movie.
It is. It is our second Batman
movie. So we
did
Mask of the Phantasm.
Yep.
And I guess so it makes it, our third superhero movie since we did Superman last time.
Yes.
And it's interesting that it took, 11 years?
Yeah.
And, it's...
Yeah, 11 years between Superman and Batman.
Everything, Superman and Batman were the premier superheroes, right?
Yeah.
And it took a while. And you would have thought that, I get that in the 70s, a blockbuster was kind of a new thing. And I can see why it would have taken a few years to kind of get into making a Batman movie.
Yeah. I mean, this could actually technically, we could see it as the fourth superhero movie we've done. Because we had Braveheart, where, William Wallace is an honorary Ninja Turtle because he had nunchucks.
How did he get nunchucks?
Michelangelo gave them to him.
I mean, I know his uncle took him around the world.
Maybe he took him to New York City. And they're hanging around the sewer.
I didn't think the British Isles had that much contact yet with feudal Japan.
Oh, yeah.
I started watching recently. We need to finish it because we got cut short, and we've had just a busy week. But The Karate Kid, Charles. So
nice. Not the Jaden Smith one, right? The real Karate Kid.
Yes.
The Ralph Macchio. Billy Zabka.
John Avildsen directed.
Pat Morita.
Hey, we recently did Rocky. Same director.
Yep. I mean, I know this isn't an episode on Karate Kid, but the Ralph Macchio, Pat Morita, Billy Zabka Karate Kid movies are in the same cinematic universe as the Jackie Chan, Jaden Smith one.
Yes.
Because they are making a Karate Kid movie that's supposed to have, everybody.
Which means Hilary Swank should be in it, too.
Yeah, she should be, because technically the next Karate Kid is still part of the same thing.
Pat Morita's in that, so...
Yeah, playing the same character, the same Mr. Miyagi. And, I mean, Hilary Swank is one of the few actors from previous movies that hasn't been in Cobra Kai yet.
Okay. Huh. I haven't watched Cobra Kai yet.
It's a good show.
I heard it's very good.
It's a very good show. I started watching it a little over a year and a half or so ago.
Okay.
And got through all the seasons that are out now. And it's a really good show.
This has me thinking. We're getting off track here.
Yes, we are. That's okay.
Would that mean How I Met Your Mother's in the same universe?
Of course.
As those?
Of course.
Which would then mean Lost is in the same universe?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Which I guess also means Party of Five is. because Matthew Fox.
Yep.
And even Ghostbusters. All right. Okay.
Yeah. All of them. Every movie is in the same universe. Except the universe would be characters, not actors that were in them.
Yes.
So none of those would be in the same universe. Because Karate Kid Karate Kid was still a movie in How I Met Your Mother.
It was.
So
yeah, it was definitely just a character. They go into all of that.
Yes.
The classic, like rooting for the bad guy. Of course, it was Zach Braff over Ralph Macchio.
Yep.
One thing I don't know, I should say, I would regret, or probably not the right word, but like it's interesting because like Batman was a huge box office hit. And, like Michael Keaton was kind of at the top of his game. Jack Nicholson, obviously, They got Prince on the soundtrack.
Yep.
Again, it was Batman.
Yeah.
Like people were wanting a Batman movie, and they're still really in that first, because Jaws is what the kind of kicks off the summer blockbusters, right? And then it's not quickly after that where you get Star Wars, and then you had Superman, and then you had Indiana Jones, right? And E.T. So when was Batman actually a summer release? Yeah, it was a summer movie. June 23rd, 1989 was the release date.
Okay.
So yeah, classic summer kind of blockbuster, right? Yeah. It has a PG-13, whatever. And, again, like Batman, even at that time, had started even having more a resurgence in the comics. Because, he had this kind of heyday a bit, right? In the 60s with the Adam West series and obviously the 40s serials. And I guess at that time, like, I don't know if the Dick Tracy movie had started filming yet.
No, because that came out in 90 or 91?
90.
90, yeah.
Yes. So
which means it was probably filming in 89. Which, I mean, depending on how much work they had to do on it, it probably hadn't started filming yet when they were filming Batman. Yeah.
It's an interesting one to bring up because, like, Dick Tracy and Batman, they're both kind of pulp detective characters, right?
Yep.
That started as, like, comics. And it's the whole, like, debate, like, is Batman really a superhero, right? And he kind of eventually gets brought into that fold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the original character is not really seen as a superhero as we kind of think of it today, right?
No, I mean, it depends on your definition of superhero.
Exactly.
If a superhero, if a requirement to be a superhero is you must have superpowers, then no, Batman's not a superhero. But if a superhero is just a hero that goes above and beyond,
right,
then Batman's definitely a superhero.
Yes. And, and he's got all his wonderful toys.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah.
How's he's super.
Yeah.
And it's different, right? You look at the aesthetic of it. It definitely brings in kind of that noir 40s aesthetic.
Yeah. Yes.
But it's also very gothic.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's a blending of kind of styles. Because, you just start off with it. And it's funny, like, if you know the Batman or the Bruce Wayne background, you almost think, we're seeing a young Bruce Wayne to start this movie, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because, it starts out, a kid and his parents are walking through the alley.
Probably why
getting out of the movie theater.
Feels like it is kind of like in the 40s, right?
Yeah.
Because it does actually take place, they want you to make you kind of think that it's prior to the present day, the actual movie, but it's not.
Yeah. But so it starts out, you got these parents and their son who are leaving the movie theater. They go to walk down an alley to get back to their car, and they get mugged.
The kid's trying to read the map.
Yeah, the kid's trying to read the map.
Dad's like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, and then they get mugged, and you're led to believe that that's Bruce Wayne and his parents. But it's not.
Right? Because in the middle of it, the muggers, they grab it, and they're on the rooftop, and they're talking about all these things, and then he shows up.
Yep.
Batman
shows up. And if Batman is on the roof with the muggers, then how can that be a young Bruce Wayne whose family just got mugged and whose parents were not killed in the mugging? So now one thing, that's kind of a replacement for the actual Batman origin story in this movie.
Yes.
I mean, just showing that parallel to a more modern day, according to the movie timeline, similar situation to what happened to Bruce and his parents. I mean, they do show later on the actual origins of Batman. They show Bruce's parents being killed, but that's just in a quick flashback. There's not really a whole lot of setup for that particular scene. It's really just a flashback when he's recognizing the killer.
Yeah, and it's really more connecting who the killer is and the significance of like the alley. It's important because it's kind of the reason why you blow off a date. But it's different as opposed to Batman Begins, which
the whole
goes
first
deeper
act
into the origin of
the entire Batman. First act of Batman Begins was the origins of Batman.
Like we get the flashbacks of the night, but we also see how he becomes Batman.
Yeah, you also see his training.
For this, he's already Batman, as opposed to Superman, which is origin story. So, and I like that they don't necessarily do the origin story here.
I do too. Of all of the superheroes, Batman's origin story is probably the most done.
Yeah,
Superman is a close second,
right.
But everybody does Batman's origin story.
Yeah.
And so at this point, everybody knows what his origin story is. So you don't necessarily need it in the Batman movie.
Yeah, but I like that within this, you can tell it's still early within his role as Batman.
Yeah.
He still has plenty of gadgets and a plane, a car, but there's no bat signal yet in the beginning of the movie.
No, not yet. The cops still don't trust him.
They don't trust him. Even the thugs, there's rumors of who this Bat character, right? The thugs at the beginning of the movie here, right? They talk about it. And
yeah, he's not real. And then he shows up behind him.
He doesn't have a true nemesis yet, which I guess at the end of the movie, his nemesis is taken care of. But
yeah.
So, it's settling in. As opposed to, and this is where it can be controversial, I guess, is Joker gets more of an origin story here.
Yes,
right?
he does. Because I forgot how much of the movie has him as Jack Napier before he becomes Joker. I forgot. There's a good 30 to 45 minutes where he's not Joker yet.
No, it takes a while because you establish the crime angle.
Yeah.
Right? With Jack Napier, and then you see that he is employing certain cops. You can also tell that he's seeing his boss's girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? You're setting up a lot of pieces to get to the Joker character.
Yeah. And I love that setup. I like that they, gave him a backstory, but still because, in the comics and in movies and whatever, Joker's not supposed to have a definitive backstory.
No.
And they still keep true to that for the most part.
Yeah. They lean heavily into the Red Hood stuff.
Yes, they lean heavily into the Red Hood stuff without having him masquerade as the Red Hood. Yes. But at the same time, they sort of throw a little bit of his background from Mask of the Phantasm, which came out later, and the animated series was sort of a continuation somewhat of the Burton movies, but so at least style-wise, not actually a continuation of them. But so it most likely took from the Burton Batman for their Joker's origin. But it's still not a definitive origin story for him. It shows the brief time leading up to to when he fell into the vat of chemicals,
right? Because, he is the second command of a mob syndicate, right?
Yeah.
His boss, the leader, is Carl Grissom, who is Jack Palance. As we say, he's having an affair with Grissom's girlfriend.
Yep.
Which makes sense because, he's probably 30 years younger than Jack Palance.
And, this is post The Shining, so he's got the crazy in him.
Yeah.
He's crazy enough to do that too. Jack Palance is one of those people that most people wouldn't want to steal his girl.
No.
Jack Palance and Clint Eastwood are two people that you would not want to do that. But Jack Napier, Jack Nicholson's character, is just crazy enough to do it.
Yes. Because he's Jack Nicholson.
Because he's Jack Nicholson.
And it's funny, when the first memory of watching the entire thing, Jack Palance is in this. Curly. I already knew Kim Basinger, Michael Keaton.
Yeah, but I was think Curly when I see Jack Palance also, because
Jack Palance, obviously, that might have been in movies for decades.
Yeah. Yeah, but I always think of Curly first when I think of Jack Palance because I grew up with City Slickers. But
he's good for this role too.
Yeah, he was. He was good for this role, and he was good for City Slickers too. It was.
Anyway, he knows Jack Nicholson is having an affair.
Yeah.
But there's a thing within it's established early, maybe because it is Jack Nicholson playing him. So you get the sense that he doesn't like being second, right? He's wanting to.
Of course not. He wants to be first. He wants to. And
it's really going to drive a lot of what he does as Joker later, also, because he gets jealous of Batman. Also,
Yep.
Batman gets the headlines.
Yep, and Batman gets the girl. Because when after he falls into that acid or that chemicals, Jack Palance's girl doesn't want him anymore.
Yeah, I mean you can blame her. And I think she knows that Grissom knows the thing, and she thinks he's going to die. But anyway, but yeah, there's a lot of setup with the movie, right? Because we kind of talked about the girl, Vicky Vale. Also, right? The other girl, I should say. But it's funny because she's not the reporter. She's just a photojournalist.
Yep.
Alexander Knox is the reporter, right?
Yep.
And he's the guy that's convinced about Batman's existence, right? All the other reporters in the newsroom, right?
So interesting thing real quick about Alexander Knox, since you brought him up. So Robert Wool, the guy who played him, he decades later was in one episode of Supergirl, the CW Supergirl show, playing Alexander Knox.
I didn't know that.
So I just thought that was interesting. I mean, is it the same character? Like is the Supergirl belong to the same universe as the '89 Tim Burton Batman? Or is it, the same character, just an alternate universe version?
Question. I just know that, again, I know for reference, I've seen it, Bull Durham, and then Arliss, and then Good Burger.
Yeah.
For a while, it was just Batman and Good Burger.
Yep. Batman and Keenan and Kel. Oh.
It's funny. He's so iconic, and it's easy to kind of forget. Oh yeah, he's in Batman actually.
Yeah.
His role kind of gets overlooked because he's the guy that's on the trail for Batman, and you kind of forget about his character for plotting the movie.
Yeah, but he's in a lot of the movie. But
he drives a lot of the drive for it because if it's not for him, then Vicky Vale is not that interested in who Batman is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they go to the fundraiser. A gala hosted at Wayne Manor, and
none of them know. I mean, so
they don't know really who Bruce Wayne is.
Yeah,
they go to his house.
They go to his house. They don't know who he is. They don't know that he's Michael Keaton. So that leads you to believe that it is early in Batman's career, that maybe he just got back from his world travels training to be Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, and other, some other Batman stories, or Bruce Wayne aspects really lean into his personas, like Bruce Wayne and being a tabloid kind of trust fund person, right?
I mean, this is the perfect cover for Batman. He plays up that whole Playboy persona when he's Bruce Wayne.
And I really like what they do here at this gala because, they're talking and, you kind of have the two detective things going on. You have the two of them trying to figure out what's going on here at Bruce Wayne's house. And then Bruce Wayne, he's observing everything.
Yeah, he's got cameras and he's watching and sneaks up behind him.
What's earlier is that they're going to set up Napier, right? Napier's got some cops on the payroll that I think are working for him, but they're actually still working for Jack Palance, right?
Yep.
And they're going to...
One of which is Eckhart.
Yeah. And, they're going to tell them of a bust that's happening at their plant, the chemical plant.
So I
think... get there, the cops are going to show up. Eckhart's going to tip them off, and then... Yeah.
So Eckhart might be the only role that William Hootkins played that his name doesn't have anything to do with being fat.
Look at those heroes. You have Porkins, who's he's a hero.
Yep.
And then he's just a bureaucrat that you just dislike a lot.
Who talks about having top men taking care of the ark.
Top men.
And
then he's a corrupt cop.
Yeah.
That you don't like at all.
His
role's just go down further
Yeah.
in terms of likability.
So Eckhart he acts a lot like Harvey Bullock from the animated series, but Bullock's not corrupt. So he's sort of like a cross between Bullock and Flass.
Yes.
Because you got Flass from Year One and from Batman Begins, and he's a corrupt cop. You know, he's corrupt through and through. But, I mean, he dresses a lot like Bullock, acts a lot like Bullock, but he's corrupt like Flass.
Yeah. There's certain things where they still, again, like, if you're a cop and you're actually working with the mob, it helps to still kind of use the police to your advantage to get rid of problematic people within your organization.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and Gordon is there also, right?
Yeah.
And Billy D is also there.
Yes, he is.
Pat Hingle, I should say Pat Hingle, right?
Because was Billy D being appointed the DA? Is that why the gala was happening? Why?
That's what it was about.
Wasn't it his?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's they got
it was his
table there.
Yeah.
That's why Gordon would be there too, right? Because he's commissioner at this point.
Yeah.
So unlike Batman Begins, where he's not commissioner to start with, but yeah, we haven't mentioned him yet. Pat Hingle, right, is portraying Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
At that point, he'd been in Eastwood movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Michael Gough there as Gordon. That's Gordon as Alfred.
Yeah, Michael Gough as Alfred, who he would continue to play Alfred through Batman and Robin, which is like between the Burton movies and the Schumacher movies, he's like the one consistent character there that makes it seem like maybe they are actually the same universe.
Correct. And
even though everything else is different about them.
Yeah.
The Schumacher ones are much campier, and the Gotham has a different look and a different feel, and there's a lot of glow in the dark people. Like all the gangs have like different glow in the dark face paint and whatnot. Like blacklight face paint.
And so after that, like Michael Gough, like he started doing a lot of Tim Burton movies. Obviously, Batman Returns. He was like in Sleepy Hollow, also. I think.
Huh.
Not nearly as likable. I think he was a character he didn't like. He might have gotten his head chopped off. I don't remember. It's been a while since I watched.
A lot of people get their heads chopped off in Sleepy Hollow.
Anyway, yeah. So it's about So I guess it was like was it a fun? I guess it was a fundraiser for Dent, which happens a lot in Batman movies, like in The Dark Knight.
Was it a fundraiser, or was it just the party presenting him as the new DA?
That's what it was. That's right, because it was the press conference about it.
Mm-hmm.
Napier was watching that earlier when they were just talking about it, and so then but Alfred notices that the commissioner gets a call and leaves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Telling Bruce about it. But at the same time, I like the scene in that where you really kind of get a sense of both Bruce Wayne and Batman together with Michael Keaton, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is when Vicky and Alexander, they're in that great room.
Yeah, they wander off from the rest of the group.
What an awesome scene.
Yeah.
I think that the set decoration of that scene, and I just think the way that Vicky and Alexander talk about Bruce and they're kind of making fun of him.
Yeah.
He shows up.
And then Bruce walks up right behind them, and then they're talking to him. They're talking to Bruce, making fun of Bruce. They don't realize that it's him.
And I love that,
And they're like, I wonder where he got this. He's looking at the samurai armor.
It's like...
I got that when I was in Japan.
That's exactly what Batman would have.
Yeah. He's like, I wonder where he got this. Japan. Like, how do you know? Because I picked it up when I was in Japan.
And then I love how Doc is like, can I have a grant? It's like, and Batman, Bruce Wayne just kind of nods at it.
Kind of laughs it off, and then...
And he's just like, but then he compliments him on some article that he wrote, right?
Yeah, he compliments him on some article, and just leaves the whole grant thing there. And then when Alfred comes in,
he talks about Gordon leaving.
Yeah, tells him about Gordon leaving suddenly, and Batman, and Bruce gets the hint, and he needs to go, and so he's like, and by the way, give Mr. Knox a grant.
And then sets up another date with Vicky Vale, and and then they look into this giant mirror there, right, which is generally when you see those giant mirrors in his halls, it's supposed to be about someone being really arrogant. Right?
Yeah, really vain. And
it's a little bit opposite of that here, actually. And then, you can see that all of a sudden. Yeah. He's got all his cameras and microphones.
Mirrors are perfect to hide a camera behind.
Because it's perfect, because he still needs all that within his mansion, just in case he needs to know about something that he has to go fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he discovers about how they got the tip at the chemical plant.
Yeah, which in this movie is Axis Chemicals. In the comics, it's Ace Chemicals.
Ace, yeah.
So, not sure why they changed the name, but okay.
At least it's not Acme Chemicals.
True.
And then so, he goes off, and then, you have a whole sequence.
Yeah, at the chemical plant, at Axis Chemicals, where, Jack Napier and Bob, his right-hand man, are there.
He's like such an unsung hero of this movie.
Yep. Yeah, Bob's great.
Bob the Goon.
Bob the Goon.
Played by Tracy Walter. But, Jack realized...
Played brilliantly by Tracy Walter.
Yes. I kind of feel bad later when he just... Jack just kind of casually kills him.
Yeah. But that just shows...
Of his henchmen, he kind of gets one of the least glorified deaths.
Yeah. It was his top henchman, and he gets one of the least glorified deaths. Because, it just shows how psychotic Joker is.
Psychotic. Absolutely, that Joker is. Tracy Walter, by the way, was also in City Slickers.
Yes, he was.
He was also in Silence of the Lambs in a much different role.
Yeah. I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
I like trying to catch Silence of the Lambs as often as I can. It's been a while. So.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have to do it on the podcast sometime.
Be a good one to do. Talk about iconic villains. Anyway.
Yeah.
He's also in 2 episodes of Alf.
Oh.
Yeah, they get there, and they're trying to basically get there before the cops get there. They clean out any incriminating evidence and cash, and they get in the main office, and then there's nothing there.
Yep.
So Napier realizes he's been double-crossed.
Yep. And so, at this point, the cops are blocking the exits, and he's trying to get away from them. And Batman shows up. And Jack Napier he's tussling with Batman, ends up falling over the railing and into a vat of chemicals.
Well, we forgot the part where he shoots Eckhart.
Yes, he shoots Eckhart. Yes, Jack Napier shoots Eckhart.
Eckhart's just kind of looking around. He hears, Eckhart!
Yep. He shoots Eckhart in the chest, and then that's the last we see of Eckhart.
And then, he has a tussle with Batman.
Yep.
And he drops the chemicals.
Because every chemical plant out there just has big, open-top vats of chemicals that are so easy to fall into. Just random chemicals.
We don't know what they are.
No, they're just chemicals.
Not enough to kill a man.
They're not necessarily acids or anything like that. They're just random chemicals. Just slap a chemical sign on the side of it and you're good.
It really seems like most of his damages is when, the pipe releases, burst and the hot steam
comes out.
Face. It's not really the chemicals.
Yeah.
It's the steam.
It's the steam, and then, he falls into there, and then you see his hand pop up, and it's all white. His skin's bleached.
But then, later in the movie, you see actual, regular skin.
Well, that's because he puts makeup on.
Yeah.
That's because later in the movie, he puts skin-colored makeup on.
Yeah, it's true.
So, to cover up his white skin.
I like the scene where,
and also, it was, because the whole reason why he's got the smile later, the big smile, is from the facial reconstructive surgery, because what ended up knocking him into the vat was he got shot through the cheek.
That's right. Yeah. Forgot about being shot.
Yeah,
yes, thank you.
He got shot through the cheek, and so his face was all mangled when he fell into the vat. And so after he gets out of there, then you see him with his plastic surgeon.
I love that scene. It's like just a surgery.
Yeah.
It's like a very kind of classic kind of comic scene.
Yep.
Right? And like the movie does it really well. Like I can see where someone might criticize the movie being light on plot in some ways, but I don't know. Like the aesthetic of it, it's just got the vibe of everything and Burton's vision.
Yeah.
Bring it to life. And like I think the surgeon's a terrific example of it.
Now, what would have been better? I mean, this movie hadn't come out yet, but if the surgeon was Edward Scissorhands. Just throw Johnny Depp in there.
I just love it. Like, it's like the surgeon doesn't want him to see his face. It's like, it's a mirror.
Yeah.
Right? No.
Like, why are you giving him this face if you don't want him to see it? You should be proud of your work. You
seem like you're this underworld surgeon that you probably could have dealt with it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
But
and then he goes back to Napier's penthouse and just waits for him.
In Grissom's penthouse?
Yes.
Grissom's penthouse. And just waits for him.
Yeah, waits for him. Right? And, Grissom's like, he's in his robe, and Napier comes in, and Grissom thinks it's his girlfriend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, it gets into like the craziness of how they portray. It's a Joker, so obviously it's going to be on that crazy end. He just starts shooting him. He's shooting at his back.
Yeah,
you're wondering how he's actually hitting the guy.
Yeah, it's a movie. You got to suspend disbelief sometimes.
Like you get the first shot, like okay, you get the first shot's like okay, he's pointing at his chest.
Mm-hmm. And who knows? Maybe he didn't hit him every time. It doesn't show him hitting him with every shot.
It's true. He hit him once, and then he's kind of old. He has a heart attack, and he dies.
Oh yeah, I guess in Batman he never did one-handed push-ups at the Oscars.
Mm-mm.
So
not crapping bigger than Billy Crystal. So now Napier's got his revenge, and then he waits for his girl to come back, and she just faints when she sees because he's there in his whole getup and his outfit.
Yep.
His white face, and passes out.
And I liked how even before he fell into the acid and finally became Joker. I mean, he was kind of Joker before that, but that's when his persona really changed. But he was already wearing the purple suits.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because, like, in some ways when you watch it, you can easily think, it's like Jack Nicholson really too old for this role.
Yeah.
But I don't know, the suits, they sell it. I don't know. So anyway, but so now he takes over the operations, and it gets into the other scene where like I vividly remember watching this when I was probably like 6 or 7 years old, where all the other kind of crime leaders of the city together. They're not really. They're wondering why Napier is leaving this meeting.
Yeah,
not Grissom.
Yeah, because Grissom's dead.
And then the other guy's like, there's just one guy, he's not sure about it, right? He raises a slight objection.
Yep.
They go, Napier's like, yeah, okay, we can shake on this, you can go ahead.
And he's got the joy buzzer.
How you want to resume. And he's got the buzzer.
The classic joy buzzer that electrocutes you.
It's there. I remember being 7, like, was watching the guy get fried.
Yep. Doesn't just kill him, it fries him. Like, it chars him.
Like, there's a little bit more left of him than Donovan and
Yeah.
Last Crusade.
Yeah.
That's only because
Actually, I mean, there's quite a bit more left to him than Donovan. Donovan's just dust.
yeah, well, but then again, like, the power of God throws his skeleton against the wall, just shatter.
Yeah.
He just gets left there to sit.
Yep, he just gets left there, just smoldering in his chair.
And then all the henchmen come in, they run up, and they're in their like latex suits. Like, it's very 80s.
Yes, very 80s.
The henchmen look very 80s.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
It gives all the other mob bosses a week to think. Was it a week?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But again, like it's it. Like he wants to be number one. He wants all the attention. He wants the headlines.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
So yeah.
But
Then currently, Batman has or I should say, Bruce Wayne has a date with Vicky Vale.
Bruce Wayne has a date with Vicky Vale. Vicky Vale.
I always find that like Kim, like this really helped make Kim Basinger, but like between this and LA Confidential, she. I should say this didn't help make her because she was in which Bond movie was she was in? Never Say Never Again.
Which is it really a Bond movie?
Yeah,
I mean that's the unofficial one.
Yes,
that's the one that's the result of all the legal stuff that was going on with Thunderball. But
then I guess she was the natural, right? But she was in Batman and really catapulted her more. And for a reason after that, she laid low. And I guess we could look into that. But and then it was LA Confidential.
And somewhere in there, she did 9.5 weeks.
Yeah. So you look at her known for it's LA Confidential, Batman, Wayne's World. Was she in Wayne's World?
Was she?
Maybe it was like a cameo. I don't know. The other one was Cellular.
Oh yeah, I remember Cellular. That was a terrible movie. Oh wow, yeah.
Cellular. When she appeared, when she won the Oscar at LA Confidential, because she was very good in LA Confidential.
Yeah, she was. She was very good.
Okay, yeah, maybe she's actually going to come back and. See, the Sentinel. I saw the Sentinel. Man, that was also bad. 8 Mile, the other big one.
Yeah.
I Dreamed of Africa. I remember I Dreamed of Africa.
Yeah, so Bruce Wayne's got a date with Vicky Vale.
And, they're in the dining room. They're at the massive table.
Yeah, the massive table, one's on each end.
They're screaming down. They play it up very... I like the way they play it. In the movie. Can you pass the salt? Bruce Wayne gets up, very gentlemanly puts the napkin down, folds it.
Yep.
Walks the salt over.
Walks the salt down to her.
He's like, I don't think I've ever eaten here before. And then they have a nice dinner with Alfred.
Yes.
And Alfred tells stories of young Bruce.
Yep.
And then they get different job.
Yep. Then they don't bother to wait till the third date.
They hit it off very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, Bruce does have billions of dollars.
And Kim Basinger has a vagina.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So.
You had those two together and something's going to happen.
Yeah. I would imagine that Vicky Vale would like the style of living that Bruce could give her.
Yes.
With his billions of dollars.
There is no veil over that crotch.
No.
And then, she wakes up and then...
There's no veil on her Vicky.
What would Lego Batman do? Anyway. And then, I think it's fun. It's funny because, like, she wakes up the next morning. She thinks there's this meaningful night.
Mm-hmm.
And, Bruce is still there. And he says they can't meet later, right? No. They're going out of town, and he's got important things going on. And he leaves, and then Vicky dresses and sees Alfred. He's like, no. And Alfred's confused.
Yeah.
Because... And now Vicky's like, oh, he just wanted...
Yeah.
Anyway. But it's like, no, Vicky, no. You want $1 million cock. All right, anyway. Anyway. So...
She wanted his little Batman.
Yeah. Eventually, through Knox, is able to track down Bruce, goes down Crime Alley, and she's wondering about the whole road, why he's leaving these roses there in the middle of some nondescript alley.
Yep.
Right, but it's interesting because, like, I guess that she does find the article about
his parents.
His parents being murdered.
Yeah.
There. Because, like, I think the Nolan movies kind of play up kind of the star of family better.
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, how they're basically the first family of Gotham in the Nolan movies.
And you get that in a lot of the comics, too.
Yeah, so. I mean, the comics, the Waynes are basically one of the founding families of Gotham.
It's a massive city.
Mm-hmm.
It's
yeah.
Not just a mid-sized city that, anyway. So I like it where, she follows him and then, they get down to City Hall. And, well, I guess that's the thing, right? Because at this point, Napier's seeing these headlines about this Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he's jealous.
Yep.
Right? He wants to be the headline.
Yep. But all he is some chemically induced albino that laughs a lot.
Remember the movie Powder?
Oh, yeah. I never saw it, but I remember it.
I remember it, too. I doubt that gets made today.
I doubt it, too. But... What, you don't think
Davis was in that?
You don't think they'd make a movie about a bald albino kid with telekinesis?
So he finds the right time to kind of announce himself, right? One of his competitors is, I guess, what was he just released from jail, or was he talking with the DA?
Oh, I don't remember which.
But anyway, so like that City Hall there, and she's kind of followed Bruce to Crime Alley, so she's there, Batman's there, right? You have Harvey Dent there, Gordon there, and then all of a sudden there's like this mime. It's coming up, doing very robotic movements. Yep. And then, I guess that's what it was, right? He wanted the guy to sign over everything to him, to Napier, right? And they realized, oh, this is Napier, right? And then I never quite understood how this feathered pen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it sticks in there. Like, okay, like, yeah, I get that, it's got major artery going through.
Yeah, I mean, he's using a feather to kill somebody.
He dies, like, instantly.
Mm-hmm. He's got to throw that thing hard in order to break the skin.
Like, okay, like, even if there's, like, probably, like, some chemical in there, like, yeah, you got to throw it hard.
Mm-hmm. Even a sharp feather is...
It's got to be potent enough to kill the dude instantaneously.
Yeah.
And, of course, like, this entire time, like, Bruce Wayne's watching it, and somehow the Joker just kind of waves at him as everyone's going crazy because this guy just died on the steps of City Hall.
Yeah. And Bruce Wayne's being surprisingly calm about the whole thing.
Yeah. He's well, it's interesting though because he's looking at him because he recognizes something in him, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which we get, we understand later
Yeah.
because he's going to connect it. But he doesn't even pay attention to Vicky like Vicky sees him, because he's looking at Napier, Joker.
Yeah.
So, and he's still, again, the law. It's more about those headlines.
Yep.
Because then I was like, okay, he needs to terrorize Gotham by the Smilex.
Yes. The Smilex gas. The laughing gas that kills you. But he it's not even the gas at first. At first, it's chemicals that he mixes into
chemicals within the makeup.
Yes,
and
within
makeup. You don't even know what it is. I like this part a lot.
Yeah, and it's not just, in lipstick or hairspray or whatever. It's a combination of the different things.
So you don't know if you're using your deodorant or whatever.
So if they just use the deodorant, they're fine. If they use the deodorant and the lipstick, the two things, then they'll combine and they'll.
I do think this is very clever for the movie to do that.
Yeah, I did too.
And you could see that as being something really scary to live through.
Yeah. Because then you have all the newscasters who the one lady ends up dying right in the middle of the news broadcast because of the makeup. And then and then every news broadcast for the rest of the movie, they're not wearing makeup.
I've always kind of wondered, this is 1989. It's 6 years after the Tylenol murders of Chicago.
Yep.
I've always kind of wondered, did that influence a little bit of the thought?
Oh, I'm sure it did. I'm sure it had some influence on it.
But unfortunately, he's trying to hold them hostage, and like you said, they're trying to figure out what's the correct combination.
Yeah.
He's still not the center of attention.
Nope.
They've been talking about all of this and trying to figure it out, but not talking about him.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, he sees Vicky Vale, and he decides that he's going to replace Grissom's girl with Vicky Vale.
Yeah. She's still, his girl's still alive at this point. He's trying to make her into a work of art in a way.
So
at some point, I guess it's not yet, where Bruce is able to kind of figure out the combination of the chemicals that's killing people.
No, not quite, because there've got to be a few deaths before he figures it out.
Yeah.
So Joker sends a message to Vicky.
Yes. As
Bruce. Yes, pretending to be Bruce, and invites her to dinner at the museum.
At the Flugelheim.
Yes, at the Flugelheim Museum.
Which again, this is another little detail. It's a really comic book detail. They play the line of it really well. Anyway. Yeah,
so she's sitting at the table at the museum waiting for Bruce to show up, but of course Bruce doesn't know about it because he didn't plan the date. And so, didn't Alfred then tell Bruce that she's at the museum waiting for him? And he's like, we're not supposed to go to the museum today. But yeah, so then the waiter brings over a present for Vicky in purple wrapping.
A mask.
Purple wrapping paper. And
it says,
purple box.
It says and then crayon, it says, put this on.
Yeah, put this on. And so it's a little gas mask. And that's when the Smilex gas starts coming out of the vents.
And
and so she puts the mask on, and people start laughing and then die.
They die, and they face plant into the food. Always kind of
the classic face plant into the food.
Yeah,
that's how you know that somebody's dead at the dinner table. They face plant into their food. It's always soup or
I always felt bad for the
pie or something like that.
The rest of them, okay, you know what? Some of them are probably assholes, whatever.
Yeah. But the busboy's the one that's got to clean it all up.
Yeah. And he killed them anyway.
Yeah.
And then, they come in, and then, the entire idea is you got this art museum, and then in it, on, the perimeter, is fine dining.
Yeah.
Right?
Up in the balcony area, there's an upstairs food court kind of, not really a food court, but fine dining restaurant up there.
It's
a Sparrow up there.
A Sparrow.
There's a Panda Express up there. But no, it's like a fine dining restaurant that's in the upper level of the museum. It's kind of overlooking the main gallery.
And then Joker and his men come in, and then Prince starts playing.
Yes, Prince starts playing. Because the music in this movie was by Prince.
Yes. Well, and what's
Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the orchestral stuff is Danny Elfman, but
yes. The score is like Danny Elfman, and then but all the actual music,
the songs and music and stuff is Prince.
Is all Prince.
Yeah.
And this is where you definitely know you're watching something that's in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not even the early 90s.
Yeah, so they're walking around dancing around, painting all over the paintings.
Neon paint.
Just defacing all the art, all the fine
and
art
in there. Statue and the Joker mimics. Then he kicks it over, and then there's one's like, I like this one. Don't deface it.
Yeah. Then they go up to Vicky's table, gently move the Sparrow away from the piece of pizza away from her.
What if it was Cajun Grill?
Oh, it could have been.
The Mrs. Fields cookie for dessert.
No, Joker would do a Mrs. Fields cookie cake. He'd get the whole cake. A big cookie. Maybe some Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, and then
your Orange Julius and your hot dog on a stick.
I've been in the malls recently, and there's 7-Elevens in malls now.
Wow. Yeah, malls have changed since the 80s. In the 90s.
And it's funny, this is a mall has a lot of high-end stuff, and then a bunch of empty things, and then 7-Elevens.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
It's you got a Nordstrom, a Neiman Marcus, and a 7-Eleven.
Sometimes, you're shopping for a nice dress and you just need a Slurpee. And you don't want to go far.
Anywho. So they're sitting down together, and he tells her she can take the mask off now. The gas is dispersed.
Mm-hmm.
She can be safe. He even brings his ex to show,
Yes. And she's wearing a mask.
Yeah. It's very much like one of those kind of plaster.
Yeah.
Kind of
plaster
Mardi
masks.
Gras parade mask. And then her face is all jacked up.
Yep.
Felt bad for her.
Yeah.
So does Vicky.
Yeah.
Then eventually Batman shows up. And then what's the at this point, this is where he's actually wearing the skin-colored makeup. Jack.
Yes. That's where he's wearing the skin-colored makeup. Because he's also got that fancy hat on.
This entire thing, between the Prince, calling something the Flugelheim, and everything about this
Jack Nicholson just being Jack Nicholson.
And they got Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yeah. Which I forgot actually how good Michael Keaton was as Batman and Bruce Wayne. He
balances both really well.
Yeah.
And the more, I don't know. There's been so many iterations at this point that I don't need to make them compete against each other.
Yeah.
I appreciate what each has brought to it, except George Clooney.
Yeah. Affleck to a certain extent.
Yeah, Affleck.
I mean, Batfleck's problems weren't all Ben Affleck.
No, fuck Zack Snyder.
Most of it was Zack Snyder.
But even I know we talked about this, Pattinson. Like, Pattinson?
Yeah.
Okay. But at the same time, you were like, Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton?
Okay.
Mr. Mom? Mr. Mom's going to be Batman?
And then, like, Christian Bale, like, you mean American Psycho?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like every Batman actor, there's been some sort of controversy over the casting.
And, pick who you want for it. That's fine if you want to have your favorite. And, I don't know. Like, we talked about this in Master of the Phantasm. Like, I think Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
And
there's never been and never will be a better Batman than Kevin Conroy.
I actually think the animated aspect of it just lends itself to being that role. But Batman's very cinematic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, we can get into this because I know we have other movies planned and we can get into that. But, because he does not have powers, because he's a more ordinary man, and then he has all the gadgets. Like,
he's a highly skilled man.
Yes. But he does not have a particular set of skills.
No.
He does.
No. He does have a particular set of skills.
But not those.
But yes, he doesn't have the same particular set of skills that Liam Neeson has.
And then Liam Neeson just becomes that same character. Anyway.
Yeah. But.
Liam Neeson. Anyway. Yeah. But yeah, like, whether it be that scene from the beginning of the movie, right, when he's just kind of facing off against these random thugs, and then to just in his own house where he's just being the detective very covertly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a perfect cover.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to expect some billionaire to be some world-class detective?
Yeah. Oh, and we didn't mention the mime scene outside. In order to get those headlines, Joker told everybody that he was going to drop a bunch of money.
That's right. Yes.
To be out on the street at this time because he's going to drop all this money.
Yeah, and he'll do that again later.
Mm-hmm. And he'll do that later.
But he'll have the gas that time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's they both work. He works so well off both.
Yeah.
And you can nitpick with any of them, but I don't know. Like, they all bring their own style to those roles.
Then
they both, any of them, I think you can believe them both being Bruce and being Batman.
Yeah.
To George Clooney. I guess Ben Affleck too, because it's Ben Affleck. And it's also because Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, listen to Zack. Sorry, but no.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do enjoy some of Zack Snyder's stuff. I loved his remake of Dawn of the Dead.
His Dawn of the Dead remake is terrific.
I loved his Dawn of the Dead remake. 300 was excellent when I first saw it. It doesn't have the rewatchability that a lot of other things had, but 300 is still good. It's still enjoyable. But yeah, Dawn of the Dead, his remake of Dawn of the Dead was fantastic.
Yeah. No, I need to watch that again. I don't know. And maybe there's some nostalgia to it, but man, I remember watching that at the apartment.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
That's so good.
Yep. That was the first time I saw that movie when we watched it at the apartment.
Anyway,
yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll do that movie someday, and then we can talk about that apartment viewing then. but yeah, I mean, I was disappointed with Watchmen. Very disappointed with Watchmen.
I would agree.
And then I just haven't really been a fan of most of his work since then. But
yeah,
but that's enough on
that's
that.
enough about him. Anyway, so Napier or Joker and Vicky are there at the dinner table, and then Batman comes in, dramatic fashion.
Yep, through the skylight.
It's like, there's a skylight there? Anyway.
Of course. There's always a skylight when Batman's around.
He needs
something to drop through. He can't just throw in his bat bombs at the ceiling and on the roof and blow a hole in the roof and drop in through the ceiling.
But I just think that it's this where the classic stuff comes in now, because he escapes with Vicky. They're on the streets, and then you got all the people that are oohing and eyeing at the Batmobile.
Yep. Yep. And this is the grand entrance of the Batmobile.
Yeah. They don't stop at Taco Bell for chalupas.
They don't.
They probably had time. They got outside of the city.
Yeah.
It's 2:00 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
They can go for chalupas. And if Vicky Vale wants Baja sauce,
Vicky Vale gets Baja sauce.
and if Batman is not really into the sour cream,
Then he
he's
doesn't get
not
sour
really
cream.
into Baja sauce,
Yeah.
he doesn't get Baja sauce.
Yeah.
Unless maybe it's like, or maybe they want McDonald's.
If Batman wants a cheesy Gordita Crunch on a Dorito shell instead of the regular taco shell, which I highly recommend, it is delicious. Then he gets a cheesy Gordita Crunch on a Dorito shell.
I don't know. If I'm Batman, it's 2:00 in the morning, and I'm near a drive-thru, and I need something, and if it's available, I might have to go with the Wendy's spicy chicken nuggets.
Yeah. Or, I mean, is there a White Castle in Gotham?
Go with some sliders.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, why not both? Like, you can get some sliders, and then go to Wendy's and get the spicy chicken nuggets.
Mm-hmm. And then put the spicy chicken nuggets on the sliders.
Yeah.
Combine them.
Like, even if Wendy's does not have a spicy chicken nuggets at that point, he's Batman. You get him spicy chicken nuggets.
Yeah. You get him spicy chicken nuggets. You
So
get
you can
some
put 'em on
nuggets
the
and you make them
sliders.
spicy.
So he's got the spicy nugget slider.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sounds delicious. So
They're back in the Batcave, and not Bruce's Batcave or Vicky's Batcave. They're back in the Batcave.
yes, back in the actual Batcave.
And not talk about Katie Holmes' Batcave either,
Nope.
which does not get explored.
No.
Maggie Gyllenhaal's, though, but not by Batman.
Yes, not by Batman. By Two-Face.
Two-Face.
But
Anyway.
that's a different movie.
Thank you for fucking. Anyway.
That's a different Aaron Eckhart movie. Oh.
Anyway, Bruce or Batman, he's deduced, kind of the right formulation,
The chemicals.
the cosmetics
Mm-hmm.
that cause people to die. So he passes it on to Vicky, knowing that she can get it off the media.
Yeah.
Even though she's a photojournalist.
But she knows Knox.
There's Knox. Knox has a grant.
Yeah. Knox has a grant. He's got to do something with that grant.
And then he lets her go, and then Batman has a nice heart-to-heart with Alfred. Again, like I love all the versions of Alfred. And
Mhm.
I
That is
enjoy how-
one consistently good thing throughout all of the Batman movies is Alfred.
Yeah, he talks about how he loves Vicky. He gets conflicted because he wants to tell Vicky that he is Batman.
Yep.
And so then he decides to visit her apartment to talk about being Batman.
Yep.
And of course, Joker shows up.
Yes, he does. And this is the whole, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Yes. This is really where you get like Michael Keaton kind of
Yes,
like
Michael
unleashed
Keaton just hamming it up.
up. Yeah. It's like this is the scene that like I can almost imagine like this is when they're doing like a casting call
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, okay, Michael Keaton or someone else. These three guys, and they saw Michael Keaton do this scene.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So you got to wonder, were the directions for this, like for the audition, if this was the audition scene, were they telling each of the people, play this scene like Michael Keaton would do it? Because this scene is Michael Keaton at his most Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Like he's got the eyebrows going and everything.
Yes. No. It's like, there's so much into this scene because like he backs away when
Mhm.
Stricker comes in, right?
Mhm.
Silently, but he can do it stealthily because he's Batman.
Yeah.
He does it very, he's very silent about it. He's already got his vest.
Yep. His all
And
platter.
he shows back up, and he realizes what weapon he can use. He's scanned that out
Mhm.
perfectly.
Yep, because he's
found
Batman.
a
He's
poker.
already 6 steps ahead.
But he's also still ready to be unhinged Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
Because he can't give off that he's Batman.
Yeah.
He just needs to be this jealous boyfriend type.
Yeah.
Right? It's really perfect.
It really is, yeah.
And then, after that, want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Joker comes out with his own line of himself, right?
Yeah. Do you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
And then it finally hits him. Like he's trying to piece it together.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this aspect of it throughout it. Like you see it going through like Keaton. You see it in his eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
To like figure it out, looking around, and it hits him.
Yeah.
And he realizes at this point, like it's like what? And like it catches him off guard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, like we talked about, like he's pieced all these things together to be prepared, and then the unexpected happens.
Yeah. The unexpected happens, and that final puzzle piece just falls into place.
And it connects, but because like it's connected in a way that he's not expecting it, like he's off guard a little bit.
Yeah.
But thankfully, he's protecting himself.
Yes. Yeah. So Joker shoots him, but he's got a platter under his shirt, and that catches the bullet.
Yep.
But, he pretends to fall down dead in the corner, and then when they look, he's gone.
Yeah.
And then Vicky finds the platter with the bullet in it.
By the way, like, I get she's kind of a renowned photographer in a way, but, like, the apartment seems really, really nice.
Yeah, it does. I mean, maybe Bruce gave her a grant, too, along with other things.
That was the point I was going to make. Like, this seems like this would be Bruce's apartment in the city.
Yeah. Maybe it is Bruce's apartment in the city. Maybe she's staying at his place.
Wayne Manor is like city limits, but it's like on the edge of the city.
Would actually kind of make sense because she's already been confronted by Joker. So he knows that Joker's after her. So maybe he did put her in one of his apartments.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good point.
For protection. As a sort of a safe house.
I had not thought about that. That's a good point.
Because it's never really stated that is her place.
No. Like, it's a big open wall apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't really say it's a penthouse, but like it's a large apartment.
Yeah. It's a big, nice fireplace in that apartment. Your typical, 2-bedroom apartment doesn't have a fireplace like that.
No.
Yeah, so it very well could be just one of Bruce's apartments he has throughout the city. Because he's got more than just Wayne Manor.
He's got more, yeah.
He's got safe houses and all that.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. Because, sometimes you just need to get quickly back to somewhere after a rough night.
Yeah.
But
then again, I mean, if it was one of Bruce's places, then how would Joker have known where it was?
That's a good point.
How would he know that that's where Vicky was?
Vicky was. Because he was going for Vicky.
Yeah.
Like, he never discovers Bruce's identity.
No.
Like Vicky does.
No, yeah, she does.
Because, she eventually gets to the Batcave and Bruce explains everything. And while this is going on, Jack or Joker is like trying to formulate the plan for him to really be center stage of everything, right?
Yeah.
So what we haven't really discussed is kind of the background. What they kind of talked about is that Gotham's about to celebrate its birthday.
Yes.
And they're planning this big extravaganza for it.
Yes, this big parade and
like 200 years, I think is what it said.
Something like that.
Something like that. 200 years, maybe 1989 to 1789, maybe 250. It's a big birthday celebration.
Really, first, what we didn't explain with the whole Joker's catchphrase was, what Bruce deduced was that Jack Napier is the one that killed his parents.
Right.
There's that flashback to...
he says that directly to Bruce when he kills his parents.
Yes. Yes. So it... there's a brief flashback to Bruce's parents being murdered, and then it shows the face of the man who shot them, and he looks at Bruce and he asks him, "Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?"
And then he runs off with the guy that he was, robbing people with.
Yeah, because he was gonna kill Bruce.
He was
about to shoot Bruce, but the other guy pulled him away.
The other thing they show in the flashback, he's gonna shoot him, but like the other guy's like, "No, we gotta go."
Yeah.
So you get the dual thing where one creates one.
Yeah.
Then after that, he creates the other.
They create each other.
Yeah. So
that classic hero arch nemesis relationship.
But you don't really, again, like, you'll get into this because as if you haven't actually watched this or any of the 80s and 90s Batmans, Jack Nicholson is only in one of the movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a pretty common thread in a lot of Batman movies. The villain's only in one movie.
Yeah. So
now Heath Ledger might have been.
Yeah, if Heath Ledger had,
and technically Liam Neeson wasn't
passed.
too. Liam Neeson wasn't.
Yes, he was. He was.
But that was really more of a vision.
Yeah, and it was just a cameo in the second one there than in Dark Knight Rises.
Anyway.
But yeah, so the parade starts happening. Big Gotham's birthday party celebration thing happens, and Joker has his floats.
His mighty floats.
His mighty floats and his big balloons that are full of Smilex.
Yes. And like Batman's first idea is like he wants to like destroy the plant. No more of this gas can be made.
Yeah.
And like this is the scene, obviously we're working at the climax, but we really get to see all those wonderful toys.
Yep.
Including the bat plane.
Yes, the bat plane comes out.
Flies up to the moon.
And flies up to the moon, creates the bat signal in the moon before dropping back down. Yeah.
I like how it's over the clouds too. It has a flag. It hangs just long enough.
Yep.
Before this ends.
And, as the balloons start releasing the gas, Batman flies down, puts out his little claw from the bat plane and grabs all the balloons and carries them off to a safe distance where the gas isn't going to affect anybody.
He's, in the upper atmosphere.
And then Joker pulls out a gigantic revolver. Like, this thing's got like a 3-foot barrel.
He's hiding it in his pants.
Yes, he's hiding it in his pants. And one shot takes down the Batplane.
Meanwhile, anyway, I think how somehow Knox figures out, to not breathe in the gas, right?
Mm-hmm.
They figure out just enough, all people trying to get, all the greedy people want the cash.
Yeah. Yeah, because as the gas is coming out, the money is falling too.
They're just common people, and the movie casually kills them all.
Yep. Yep.
I kind of forgot about that. It's like, oh yeah, there's actually a lot of people in this movie that die.
Yes, there are a lot of people that die in this movie.
And it seems like they're trying to make this statement because they're going after free money that was promised to them. Mm-hmm. That they deserve to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. They might have just had 2 flat tires.
They might have.
And they don't have the money to put a down payment on a new car.
Yeah.
Or maybe they need a transmission. Yeah. Right?
Maybe one of them just lost their job and they need to pay the rent.
Yeah.
Maybe they have to put food on the table for their 7 kids.
Maybe their 73 Malibu.
Maybe.
Got joyrided by a son of a brother of Brandon.
Yeah. Maybe their Daewoo Lanos broke down.
They have to tow it by themselves in an apartment.
Yes.
You just got killed by a Daewoo Lanos, motherfucker. One of the most underrated movie lines.
Yes, it
ever.
Is. Yes.
And maybe it's because we've both ridden in a Daewoo Lanos.
Yes.
We did not own a Daewoo Lanos.
No, but our old roommate did. Steve owned a Daewoo Lanos. And all 3 of us rode in that thing. I don't know how we all 3 fit in that thing. Oh, yeah.
Pineapple Express.
Funny movie. Funny
anyway.
We should definitely do that movie sometime. But
all these people are dropping dead.
Yeah. All these people are dropping dead.
Gas.
Yep.
Until, like you said, Bruce or Batman collects all of the floats, brings them up into the atmosphere, and lets them go.
Lets them go. And they float off into space.
And that's at the point, I guess, where Joker kills his henchman.
Yeah. Yeah, he kills Bob.
I love the giant, we didn't even bring this up in the scene at the art museum at the Flugenheim. The giant boombox they just
yes. Fucking playing Prince on a giant 80s boombox. Oh, yeah.
The music didn't date that scene. That giant boombox.
Especially since he's carrying it on his shoulder.
Like he belongs in some skate park.
Yep. Like he's about to challenge the neighborhood gang to a break dance off.
Yeah. So anyway, they get Joker's able to get the Batwing to crash and then throw it in the cathedral, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got Vicky Vale hostage now. And they go up into the
bell tower.
This is very. I didn't even really think about this until watching this again recently. It's very the movie is different. It's kind of very Vertigo.
Yeah.
At this bell tower at the end.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But you got all the different goons attacking Batman as he's trying to make his way to Joker and Vicky.
Meanwhile, Joker, Vicky's, she's gassed a bit, so she's out of it.
She's kind of dazed. So he's dancing with her up there, up at the top of the bell tower.
And then the goons dance with Batman.
Yes, the goons dance with Batman. The one guy, he's like doing all these, fancy ass martial arts moves. He goes and jumps at him, tries to kick him, but Batman has a little extendable little thing from his wrist. He just puts his arm out there.
Blocks him. And he falls.
He falls then.
And then our favorite.
Yes, our favorite. Batman's walking up, and there's a guy up above him that he doesn't see. He goes to jump. Breaks through the floor and falls to his death.
He doesn't really even move. He just stands there. Yeah. He just misjudges the jump. He falls down that entire bell tower. Then you get the other guy that he decides to use as the mallet to the ball hammer.
Yeah.
They try to drop him off. He's kind of hanging.
Yeah.
He picks him up and just starts banging his head on the bell. It's like, okay, I get the first two are kind of inadvertent.
Mm-hmm.
That last one was kind of a purposeful killing of Batman. Which I'm okay with.
Bringing a bell to the guy's head.
Circumstance.
Oh, yeah.
Nowhere as egregious as some of the more recent Superman killings. Anyway.
Oh, Superman killings and Batman killings.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so finally it's just like him and Napier and Vicky and and it lead, I guess he tells Napier that. Does he tell Napier that he was just responsible for his parents' death?
Yeah, I think
he does.
He does, yeah.
And there's a Joker copter there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not sure how. I've always wondered about this, well, the entire movie. Like his henchmen just seem kind of second rate, and he's got all this. Like
He's got all this cool stuff.
I get like he's probably used bunnies, kind of taken over. But
Yeah.
he's got all this cool branded stuff pretty quickly.
I mean, was all this Grissom stuff that he just took when he killed Grissom? And then maybe like painted it to look like Joker
Jack
stuff?
Collins's head on the helicopter.
Yeah,
and he
could
just
be.
painted his
He
head
just
over it.
painted his head over it. Maybe.
Anyway. The helicopter's ready to fly off with the Joker.
Mm-hmm. He's got that rope ladder dangling down. And,
yeah. And then you get the point where, like, Batman and Vicky are hanging in the spell tower.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, Batman, he's Batman. He's got his belt, agility belt. He uses his grappling hook, right?
Yep. Grappling hook. Wraps it around Joker's leg. Wraps around his ankle. While he's on the rope ladder going up to the helicopter. Gives him a tug.
I think this should, when we watch this, like at this point, like, okay, yeah, you kind of forget that Joker's like Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Like, early movie, like at this point, like, yeah, like he's so well into his plan as Joker, like, yeah, it's fully Joker.
Yep.
So yeah, he shoots the grappling hook, catches his leg, and then he's pulling him, and then like he kind of grabs down, he kind of falls and grabs a gargoyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens from there?
I'm trying to remember if the gargoyle breaks or if he just slips off of it.
I think he just kind of slips off of it, right? Yeah, because he just can't
he can't hold on to it.
Hold on to it. And they all kind of fall, and then Batman's able to shoot up and hold on to Vicky, and the other grappling hook is able to catch on to the top of the bell tower. Kind of where
able to rescue Vicky, but Joker falls to his death.
And it's the scene I talked about earlier. It's like I remember this part when I was like 6.
Mm-hmm.
Joker falls. And he just
Yep.
It's like, where did that come from?
Yep.
But no, this is one of the things to remember. I was probably in kindergarten, the first grade. Like, is he really dead?
Yeah. He doesn't come back in any of the movies.
At that point, like, there's a few scenes after that, but doesn't resolve it. And like, if you fall at that point, if you're falling in love with Batman, like, did they really kill Joker off?
Yeah. I mean, Joker is Batman's arch nemesis.
Yeah.
Joker is Batman's Lex Luthor.
He's got a terrific set of rogues, but you still kind of need the Joker, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can get by without some of the other rogues, like, Calendar Man. Like, I love Calendar Man. But it's not like you need Calendar Man.
Yeah.
You don't need Killer Croc. Got a Joker in there, right?
Condiment King.
So, yeah. But it doesn't really answer that question. Like, even within that movie, like, does he really die or not?
Yeah.
It's funny because, like,
I mean, I would imagine they left it open, intentionally, in case they wanted to bring him in for a sequel.
I think they really did mean to leave it open, but I don't know how realistic it was to expect Jack Nicholson would have been back.
Yeah. Yeah.
As opposed, when we finally do this later, or Dark Knight, Ledger.
Yes.
Which is interesting because, like, he falls before Batman catches him.
Yes. It is a similar ending on Dark Knight.
If you haven't seen Dark Knight, sorry for the spoilers.
But
so, like, and knowing how Nolan is, he will never, ever say what he kind of originally might have had planned.
Yeah. Yeah, because hasn't he said that had Heath Ledger not passed away, that he would have brought him back?
I think he has. I need to look back into that. So Yeah, if he said anything, that's probably where he would leave it, as opposed to having an actual,
actually sharing his plans.
Say what his story plan was. Unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Yeah, but that's Batman.
It's Batman.
That's the 1989 Batman. Great movie.
Great movie.
A lot of people's favorite Batman.
If you love 80s music.
Yeah. Plus, just like the Batman theme is phenomenal.
Yeah, Danny
Elfman's score is phenomenal.
Yeah, he just works really well with Tim Burton.
Yeah.
And Tim Burton's, we didn't really use his name a lot. Like, it's Tim Burton. I mean,
yeah.
What, like, before this, you had Pee-wee and Beetlejuice. And this is like, granted, it's gothic, kind of like, especially like Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice was like a straight comedy.
Yeah. But, I mean, this still has Tim Burton's signature all over it.
All over it. Yeah. Like, this really helped set the tone for, like, the early Burton.
Yeah.
Because, Edward Scissorhands, Batman Returns. And, it's a really good movie.
It's a great movie to watch if you can get a hold of some Twisted Crust pizza.
Yeah. If not, just use any regular Pizza Hut pizza.
Yeah.
Even though I don't always eat a lot of regular Pizza Hut pizza.
Yeah.
I almost wanted it for tonight.
Yep.
Maybe for next week. I don't know. Yeah. It's so, like, what you said earlier, like, Mike Keaton, like, he had Mr. Mom before this. He was a name, but it helped him further. Yeah.
Help break him from being typecast as a comedic actor.
Yes. If you have not seen him yet in Birdman, I would recommend watching him in Birdman. But yeah, it's Batman, and
of course this Batman made a comeback in the most recent Flash movie.
Yeah, no, that was a big deal, wasn't it? When they were revealing him, and it's as we've gotten, I think you think about some of the more modern superheroes you want to do, it's always the back of our head, I think, is how much of these movies is really being given over to the directors and the screenwriters to kind of do what they want to do with it.
Yeah.
The next movie is another superhero movie.
Yes, it's another superhero movie. So last time we did Superman, which was basically the first modern superhero movie, the movie that all superhero movies try to emulate. Then this time we have Batman, the 89 Batman, which is the first of the grittier Batman movies. Right,
and it was really the first. It wasn't the first superhero movie after Superman, because
there were three
other Superman movies after that. It was the first character, really, after Superman.
Well, first major character.
Yes. That's a better way of saying.
And then, so next, we're going to do another first. We are going to be doing the first movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're going to do an Iron Man.
Iron Man.
The movie that started the MCU.
And, we debate it, because there's also X-Men and Spider-Man.
And Blade.
And how much they kind of contributed to the superhero genre. We thought the movie that really kicked off the kind of, I guess, subgenre.
Yeah. Because, the MCU's been going on for over a decade.
Which is crazy.
Iron Man came out in 2008. It's 2024 now.
It's influenced a lot of other aspects of entertainment. Because you have all your connected stuff within Star Wars. There's other properties out there that are kind of connected together. And that's why we're choosing Iron Man.
Yeah.
Which is, strange enough, I have not seen in a while. So I'm looking forward to it. I remember most of the movie.
Yeah. I was watching it on TV a month or so ago. Didn't catch the whole thing, but got a good chunk of it.
It's interesting to see what you had to say about it. Honestly, because, I think there's been enough time passed, even within, Endgame and Infinity War.
Yeah.
That you could almost watch this independently again now.
Yeah.
Without kind of all the other expectations that get put on it. Or that got, I think sometimes with large arcs like this for characters, and Iron Man has the largest arc of any of the characters within Marvel, to kind of review things kind of through the lens of things that come after your initial viewing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm excited about it, doing Iron Man on the next episode.
And I might have a hot take.
Oh, yeah?
Because I was thinking about
Huh.
the MCU, Phase 1.
Okay.
I might have a hot take.
Okay. We'll see what you have to say next time.
So, yeah.
So if you would like to follow us on social media, we are on Facebook and Instagram and Threads. It is Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure. The and is spelled out. It's not an ampersand. It's A-N-D. And then we are also on X or Twitter, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
That's R
Nudes
and
in bio.
T. Yeah, that's R and T Cinematic. And then we are on Letterboxd. That is Cine Adventure or Cine Adventure, however you want to pronounce that. CINE Adventure. And then if you want to send us an email, let us know what you think about the podcast, movies you might want us to do. Basically whatever you want to send us, as long as it's not spam or please don't send us dick pics.
Please, no.
But yeah, it's Rob and Tony's Cinematic Adventure at gmail.com. And once again, the and is spelled out. It's not an ampersand in that the name of the podcast is an ampersand, but when you're doing, screen names and stuff like that, it's kind of hard to have an ampersand in there, especially if it's an email address. So anyway, so then also, whatever your favorite podcast app is that you listen to us on, give us a rating, give us a review, give us a good rating and, good review. Let people know how much you love our show. Whatever your favorite podcast app is. If you're enjoying the podcast, then give it a good rating, give it a good review, let people know how much you love it, and that's how we move up in the standings and in the searches and all that stuff. So
feel free within that, you can tell us your favorite Batman, your favorite Batman villain within any of the movies.
Yeah,
or you can talk about your favorite superhero movie, since we are going to be talking about another superhero movie.
Yeah.
So or if you want to just say what your favorite Batman movie is, or favorite Marvel movie is.
Or just your favorite movie.
Just put the shout out. Maybe we'll even bring it up.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
But anyway, we will see you next time with Iron Man.